All right, you guys, welcome to the video. It's me, Ciara, aka Ciara in the bonus, and we got another video for y'all today. You're not crazy. Hip hop is waking up. Now, my guy Dupley makes very good videos, so I want to kind of see what he has going on, what he got for us today, and we'll just have a little conversation about it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. We're recording live on Twitch, so make sure you guys drop a follow. The link's pinned in the comments and in the description. Pull up. Let me know you're from YouTube. We could talk about music, gaming, culture stuff, social stuff, everything. Just come through, let me know from YouTube, and I'll greet you with a warm welcome. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see what my guy Dupley is talking about.
Is it just me, or is hip-hop waking up? These past couple years, the mainstream has been filled with nothing but copycats and shameless cash grabs. But it seems
What's
like
that?
we're finally nothing but copycats and shameless
Oh, Lil Mabu.
cash grabs.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Lil Mabu hater.
But it seems like we're finally turning a corner now. Drake is washed, Ice Spice is falling off, Ian is white. It's over. Will hip-hop
Ain't Dupley white? I'm dead. It says Ian is white. Well, I'm also a big Ian hater. And it's the principle, like, you can be a white rapper and have my respect. I don't just automatically hate white rappers. I hate when they're inauthentic, when it comes off weird. And yeah, those two both fall into that category. And Ian in particular, like, mind you, my problem with Ian, he's literally copying off of Yeet. Yeet's one of my favorite artists right now. To me, to just copy somebody's whole style, that's just, I just don't support that artistically.
itself, or will
And
it
mind
end
you,
up
Yeet's white, so I clearly don't got a problem with white rappers. It's just, if you're unoriginal or inauthentic, that's pretty much my problem.
underground and culturally irrelevant like rock music? Well, you know they say things go in cycles, and the fact of the matter is, we've been here before.
If hip hop is dead and is in a vulnerable state, what role did you play in it?
The corporate side of the business, they killed it, you know what I'm saying? There's also, we got too much hustle
Nah,
in
it's
us,
my
'cause there's so
goat.
much bread in the rap game that we kind of get lost in it. Every kind of music gets stagnant every once in a while, and then it comes to a point where it needs to be re-energized.
And in a
True.
lot of ways, Nas was completely right. He had watched hip hop grow out of the concrete in the 80s, skyrocket into the mainstream in the 90s, dominate the charts in the early 2000s, only to be completely oversaturated just
True.
a couple of years later. Labeling
It was crazy. Imagine if it was oversaturated in 2006. We're like oversaturated at this point. Like, bro, it's gotten way worse.
executives holding all the power meant artists had less creative control over their output. Industry plans and one-hit wonders were everywhere.
I mean, in the late 2000s, you
Whoa.
Plans and one-hit wonders.
Oh yeah, the one hit wonders. Okay, but see, I will say, at least I'll speak on the Atlanta artists because I grew up in Atlanta. That Atlanta futuristic wave, or that new wave, the young wave, I wouldn't say, like, maybe some of them were 1 or 2 or 3 hit wonders, but to me they were integral in transitioning the sound to what we have now. So I won't just cast him off as that, but let's keep seeing what he's saying.
Wonders were everywhere.
I mean, in the late 2000s, you literally had artists that were making songs that exclusively served as cool ringtones and nothing else.
Ringtone
There was
era.
a whole subgenre called
Yep.
ringtone rap. Okay, how's that for quality?
Okay, I'm not gonna say the quality was bad, but what it did signify was the commercial appeal of it, right? Because you have to buy songs for ringtones. I think you could download it legally, but for the most part, you have to buy it to make it your ringtone or download it somehow. So I won't say it's like inherently bad, but like now we look at that era and it's like kind of iconic in terms of hip hop rap. The ringtone era kind of, to me, is more about signaling the commercial and massive appeal of hip hop songs, or hip hop kind of entering damn near like a pop realm at that time. Like if you look at someone like Soulja Boy, he crossed so many boundaries. Like we always talk about, like, Soulja Boy did this or that first. I mean, his music was revolutionary in that sense, to where it was so addictive and culturally relevant, and especially with the young people, that people wanted to make it their ringtones. So yeah, I think that was also just an intersection of like technology allowing that type of thing, and the commercial rise of hip hop colliding with each other, and then we get that
genre called ringtone rap. Okay, how's that for quality?
classic.
Yeah, the labels pretty much
Classic.
figured out the formula. It took them a while, but they did. And then they milked it until there was nothing left but Black Eyed Peas and B.O.B. I bet all of this sounds kind of familiar to you. That's pretty much the same state of oversaturation hip hop has been at these past couple years. But we know all of this already. The question is, will hip hop be able to pull itself up by its bootstraps like it did before? Well, in short, no. I mean, unfortunately, Soulja Boy can't save hip hop twice. And I'm actually being like semi-serious here. Hear me out. Despite how shitty his music was, at the time of his arrival,
How is this guy throwing so many strays to hip hop legends? See, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say he's the only person with this opinion, but it's like coming from you, it just don't sound right, gang. I don't know how else to say it.
Soulja Boy was a sign of hope for hip hop, a symbol for young, independent artists all around the globe, forecasting a future where rappers could independently cultivate an audience and pop off through the internet.
The agency
Right,
that came
right,
with
right.
platforms like DatPiff, like SoundCloud, like YouTube, helped propel many young artists, many obscure artists into superstardom and built rap into eventually the most popular genre in the world. For a little while there, the internet took the labels out of the equation and put the power back in the artist's hands to create
right.
freely and
Until they found a way to get around it. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. And I feel like we're in it was crazy. Like you said, it's cycles. And now, like, it went from internet, artists able to blow up, right? Labels starting to see that. Then they're signing artists from the internet. And then get the artists from the internet that was independent, had their own motion onto their label, leech money from that artist, right? And get artists back into the cycle of wanting to be on a label instead of wanting to blow up off the internet. The dream became, oh, not like I'm happy with all these views and getting paid off of my stuff on the internet and SoundCloud and whatever. It was like, oh, I want to blow up and get the views and the cloud and all that so I could sign with the label. And now they got these artists, like, it's like they diverted the artists from the true path that would have led to them being independent and having all their control to like baiting them into thinking that signing with the label was the dream again. And now we're in the era where artists are realizing that they have been like kind of tricked and bamboozled and wanting to slowly start getting independent, slowly starting to realize, oh, this is not all it's cracked up to be. And look at the power of what I have on the internet. How do I have all this attention and support on the internet and it's not able to translate the way it should into my pockets and the strength of my brand and me owning stuff? The labels owning my sounds. But people are going to the internet to get it. What if I just did it myself? What if I just pushed it myself? Now some of the artists are starting to wake up and wanting to take on the power of the internet and use it for their advantage without the label, but some of them are still stuck in the deals. Like we just saw Ari Lennox have an issue with the label Dreamville and Interscope, where I guess they're distributed through and they do some of the marketing, whatever. She wants out of her contract. That's on J. Cole's Dreamville label. And then you have Earth Gang on the same Dreamville label that also just went independent and separated from Interscope. They're still in the Dreamville, but you kind of see it going that way. You know, look at Tinashe. She's completely independent. Look at Meg Thee Stallion. She just went independent like within the past year. So the artists are starting to realize, like, hold on, my brand is a pretty decent size. What exactly do I need y'all for?
grow organically.
But again, unfortunately, after a while, labels figured out the formula and then they milked it until there was nothing left but Lil Mabu and okay, that's just bad enough on its own. And now we're at the point where labels are in complete control of the radio, of every streaming service, every curated playlist, every algorithm. So if there's nothing that's gonna put the power back in the artist's hands anytime soon, what's gonna—
I won't say there's nothing.
gonna be hip hop's saving grace. Okay, so here's the thing. I kind of lied. It wasn't just Soulja Boy that kept hip hop going at the turn of the 2000s. It was one more thing. In reality, back then, the main source of innovation and artistry came from rappers putting other rappers on. You know, from the people that wish to see hip hop thrive as a art form and not just as a market. They laid the musical foundations and eventually empowered the artists that will go on to conquer hip hop in the 2010s. Whether we're talking about Jay-Z with J. Cole, Top Dog and Dr. Dre with Kendrick, who else? Lil Wayne with Nicki and Drake. Kanye with what's his name?
But what's crazy, they did that, and I will give them their credit, but they also funneled those artists into the label system while also profiting off of them in the process, right? So there was that motive of, oh, like, let's keep hip hop alive, but it's like, oh, let me get my bag and sell you out to the label while we're at it. We're not gonna do nothing independent of these labels, right? We're gonna work with them and we're all gonna get a cut out of your artwork, but we still care about the culture a little bit on top of it. Now, y'all tell me, do y'all think that was the right approach looking in hindsight? Look at how long it took Kendrick to finally go independent. He's like, what, 13, 14, 15 years into his career? You know what I'm saying? Like, or some of these other labels, Nicki Minaj and Drake had contract issues with Cash Money. Wayne had issues with Cash Money. So I'm just wondering, like, I wonder what it would look like if these individual artists banded together to create their own conglomerate, or even just did their own independent stuff. Where would the artists be? Now, I will say there's an exchange, because, like, okay, these executives, artist executives, Jay-Z, Wayne, well, kind of, TDE, they get their cut. They're giving the label a cut because they're working with them as the parent company. I do think there's a thing where it's like more exposure. If you play into their system, these artists are allowed to get as big as they are, the J. Coles, the Kendricks, the Nicki and Drakes. But I wonder if they had a plan to use the labels and make them work for them, and then they had like an exit plan within the first like 5 to 10 years to break off into their independent stuff. I wonder how that would have looked, rather than, oh yeah, we're just gonna be in these labels forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like with Kanye, how he decided to keep working with Adidas and all those big companies, and how they just dropped him. I wonder if he had a plan to work with them for X years and then branch off into my independent Yeezy stuff, how that would have gone, rather than him being forced out and then building his own stuff on the side. Like, I wonder, I'm hoping that new artists are kind of waking up to that and like, hey, I'm gonna be on the label, but I'm gonna use them and then I'm gonna dip. You know what I'm saying? I think more of them have to get on that mentality if they are going to get in a label in the first place. Otherwise, they just kind of need to go independent and build up their own brand and platform.
Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, Big Sean, Chief Keef, damn, Pusha T, damn. Kanye did a lot, huh? The point I want to make is that the responsibility should be on the big artists. I mean, it shouldn't be on the big artists, but it is on the big artists to establish a foundation for the real talent to flourish.
Drake, question mark.
And label executives are not going to do it themselves, okay? I think that's pretty evident at this point.
And they barely have A&Rs anymore.
Invested in hip hop are gonna have to carry its legacy. That's the reality of the situation.
Which brings us back to today, where one artist is taking it upon himself to single-handedly push this rejuvenation into full force. Can you guess who it is? I mean, it's post-May 2024, and it's a YouTube video about rap music. Yeah, I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar, and also Drake, because why not? Bro, this whole like rap beef is such a cash cow. Do you know how many bands were made off this beef?
Everybody
like, chilling,
ate,
but other people were making bank off this beef. That's crazy. I was actually about to waste this whole part of the vid talking about what's the dirt, but I actually thought about it, and yeah, let me not do that. Instead, I want to talk about that Watch the Party Die single Kendrick dropped on his IG, because everyone seemed to kind of brush over it. Bro, why did
I'm not gonna lie, Dupley, we kind of need your what's the dirt take. I'm curious. Maybe you should just make it a separate video, or like something.
Nobody catch that he was talking about Diddy in that song. I think it's pretty obvious, like even by the refrain, watch the party die. Like that's a very interesting choice of words. Who's the one celebrity you know to be synonymous with parties? He's the party guy. Also, how about the fact that the song came out literally just a couple days before Diddy got arrested? Listen, if this was done by anybody but Kendrick, I could see all of this being a coincidence, but bro, Kendrick doesn't do coincidences. The time
Is it? I mean, I'm not saying he wrong, but it's the fact that it's bigger than just Diddy. I need people to realize that. We always like to individualize stuff, but it's like, bro, it's so much bigger than Diddy. Who do y'all think is above Diddy that allowed him to do that? You realize you cannot be at that high of a level with that much influence and money without someone above you either working with you or approving it and or participating. So as long as we can zoom out and be like, okay, yeah, Diddy is the object of all of our interest right now, but there's so many other people involved whose names we would probably never know. So I don't personally want to get too caught up on the whole Diddy thing, because it's like he's symbolic more than anything. There's rich and powerful people from every industry you could think of that are doing the same exact thing and or attending these parties and or other parties.
timing,
Epstein alone showed us that.
the choice of words, the content.
I think it's more
matters,
about the
all-
concept of that culture of those things happening: abuse, manipulation, power imbalances, underage kids. Like, I think those things are all grouped together in the concept of the party. You know what I'm saying?
all very planned out and deliberate. And if he dropped on 9/11, does that mean he's insinuating
9/11?
that
Oh, he
Diddy and
did?
Drake are the twin towers and now they're both knocked down? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll leave the egregious reaching
I like that
to
reach.
what's the dirt.
Ah,
he is the best after all. I think
I'm
people often
dead.
get bogged down with the personal disses between Kendrick and Drake, but I still don't think this beef was really personal at all. At the end of the day, it was about
using him as an
Kendrick
example.
proving a point and Drake defending himself. Why do you think he set the beef up by saying money, power, respect, the last one is better? Say it's a lot of goofies with a check. What Kendrick set out to prove, at least going off this verse, is that respect and substance beat numbers every single time.
And because that's like the objective truth, the man succeeded with flying colors. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that message resonated with the audience, and a huge one at that. I mean, everyone was watching this beef go down. We've already seen it have its effect, not only on Drake's career, which has been nosediving ever since The Heart Part 6, but also
I'm
other
dead.
artists' careers, which are cut from a similar, uninspired, opportunistic
Ice Spice,
cloth.
I'm
Like, for
dead.
example, Ice Spice, whose
I'm
album
dead.
just flopped. Diabolically, might I add. And I see people wondering, like, why this is. Is it because she lost the weight?
I
and
was
her
just
ass
gonna
is
say-
just not as fat anymore?
I was gonna
Is
say
it because
that.
people think she's mean? Yeah, people liked Ice Spice because of her personality.
Right.
That's why she was famous. So
Right.
you want to know why Ice Spice?
I do think her losing weight and losing a little bit of the ass, actually, funny enough, did have an effect. Like, he's saying it in a funny way, but it's like he's actually not wrong.
It's his fault.
I've been seeing tweets go trending about her losing her ass over and over again. I still look, I understand that you want to be smaller, but it's like there was literally nothing wrong with her body shape before.
Falling off? Okay.
She brings nothing.
I'm
to
not
the
saying you
table.
can't slim
She's
down,
always
but
just been here to ball out and have a good time, which
Yep.
I think would be fine like a year ago. But with the aftermath of this beef, I think things are kind of different now. Kendrick has already exposed this
not Diddy G.
money hungry.
Oh my god, Dupli. The fact that you included DDG in this is hilarious.
Clout chasing persona / product to the masses, and
I'm dead. But you know what? I will say this: how you know Dupli tapped in for real. The fact that he knew to include DDG. I'll tell y'all, for those of y'all that don't know who he is, DDG, Hallie's ex-boyfriend, YouTuber extraordinaire, a legend in Black YouTube. He's also a rapper. he's had a, I think, platinum song. I respect DDG as a musician. I just don't agree with his philosophy on the music in terms of like wanting to be like the McDonald's of rap, where he takes on the Drake mentality, which makes sense because Drake is his favorite rapper. He's basically like one of Drake's kids, essentially, where he's like, I'll go adapt and steal everybody's style to make sure that when people are listening to music, I can give them some of everything, even if it's jacking other people's sounds, right? He doesn't have his own identity or sound. He wants to be a chameleon and be everything so he can appeal to and market to as many people as possible. Philosophically, when it comes to art, I just don't agree with that approach because it feels very commodified and less artsy and more commercially. So that's why I think it is actually funny enough relevant to include him, because he represents the new generation that has that mentality where they don't care about the integrity of the art or having their own style or anything. They just care about, how can I make a bag? Like, and I'm not saying you can't want to make a bag. Everybody want to make a bag. I'm not mad at that. But artistically, that's kind of how I feel about him.
Cloud chasey persona / product.
And when he says cloud chasey, I have to acknowledge DDG is like head honcho of cloud chasers on YouTube. His whole career has been cloud chasing. It's worked out well for him, but that's a fact. Dupli, what, you tapped in like that, bro?
Money hungry, cloud chasey persona / product to the masses, and I don't know. Shit like this may just not be that cool anymore. What the fuck is a Jaddy anyway? I mean, just listen to Ice Spice talk about her music.
But like, I'm just going with it. Like, those are 6 songs that I already made. So we pushing that right now. You know, fans gonna eat that up.
Does that sound like somebody who cares about their fucking art, who's passionate about the product they're making? No, that's someone.
It's commodified.
Who knows they're putting out garbage. They know what they're doing is trendy, and you give people like this a platform? Bro, this shit sucks. I don't give a fuck if we're getting lit post-pandemic 2022, 2021 era, and everything was a fucking party. I don't give a shit. This is objectively ass and hollow and soulless. It's a soulless product. Whatever, bro. Whatever. The fans are gonna eat it up, you know? Jesus Christ. The fact of the matter is,
I'm with you, Dupli.
We're pretty much treading on new ground here. Like, we've never seen a catalyst this strong in hip-hop or any music genre for that matter. The effect this beef could have on culture is unprecedented. I mean, this may just be the beginning. See, because Kendrick's argument is not only a musical one, but also a cultural one.
He believes that through his music, he can not only change the state of rap, but the state of the world as a whole. Change the idea of who the youth should be looking up to and what they should strive for.
Which I do think he can.
Because look at Drake. The man has all the money in the world, all the numbers, and he's still fundamentally insecure. He's still unhappy with no real friends around him. He still can't help himself from incessantly.
Literally, bro has a whole song called No Friends in the Industry. That's got to be very depressing and very sad. I don't feel bad for him though.
Lying and being an irresponsible
I will say,
adult.
maybe he should have just been himself.
37 years old. Just look at all the people defending Drake. They're all mirror images of him. Like, bro, you go on Twitter and you see these guys trying to defend
dead.
Drake.
He didn't even say Glizzy Gobblers. He just went straight to, I'm not even gonna
these
say
comparisons.
it.
Kendrick did this 14 years ago, but when Drake does it,
and they're just bad comparisons, and they never make any sense, but they just keep coming back with the stupidest shit. And it's so
S-tier meat writers.
And all of us see these Drake fans.
Oh God, the Aiden Ross fans.
Wow, they really can't see reason here. But really, I think it's much deeper than that. They feel attacked because Kendrick coming at Drake
coming at them.
means Kendrick is coming at them. Since most of them share the same worldview as Drake and yearn for that same lifestyle. So they can't be critical in any way of Aubrey because that would require them looking inward and being critical of themselves. And they're just not gonna do that. After all,
I was annoying catching the stray.
Easier to believe a lie than to face the truth. So what should our expectations be for the future? The kind of renaissance I actually could see happening is not anything
Tyler.
drastic. I mean, don't expect a return to like 90s levels of lyricism or Ghostface Killah to start charting again. The sound of hip hop will still evolve as it's evolved up until this point. We just may see an increasing demand and appreciation for artists who actually care about their craft, who are passionate about making hip hop music, regardless of how substantive or lyrical it is. The two examples I would like to use for this are Travis Scott's Utopia and Yeat's 2093. Especially Yeat's album because it fell completely on deaf ears. I mean, when it's
Dupli, you tapped it, bro. That's why I fuck with Dupli. Dupli, bro. Dupli be tapped in. He one of the few white guys I'll actually listen to about hip hop because he actually be tapped in. And he doesn't overstep. We love a white hip hop lover that doesn't overstep. He knows his place. He knows his stuff though. Like, you know what I'm saying? He don't overstep or try to like drown out other voices on the matter. But this is such a good example. Now, I haven't listened to Utopia, but I have listened to 2093. And I feel like that was such an interesting project because artistically, Yeat is supposed to be this artist that's in the same category as like a Lil Pump to like the masses or the casual listener. They would put him in the same type of boxes like a Lil Pump. Like, oh, he just makes like little turn up music. He didn't have any substance. 2093 completely shut all that down. Because to this point, well, I would say Afterlife didn't really have much of a concept. It was like a little futuristic, vibey electronically. And I do think that project showed potential. But on 2093, he was actually talking. He actually had some substance. He was actually doing a critical analysis of himself, his tendencies, why he thinks about things the way he does, why he approaches life the way he does. Kind of like a deep dive into his mind, which usually with this type of artist, you're not gonna get that. And his 2093 project was so polarizing that he literally turned off some of his own fans. Like, he knew when he put this out, fans were not going to be ready. Most fans. I was one of those people that was like, let me keep listening to it. Let me see. Let me figure out what the concept is. Let me just analyze it on an artistic level. Not, oh, can I turn up to this like the other Yeat songs? I'm a music head, so I don't judge every project by like the last project or what I expect. I judge it by what the artist's concept is trying to be. And on this, it actually has some depth. And that really gave me hope because I was like, wow, okay, so one of these artists I'm thinking is just like a turn-up artist. I see it has some musicality, but I'm not thinking about anything substantive or not thinking that I'm not going to say I didn't think he had it in him because on Afterlife, I could tell there was some complexity there, but I didn't know if he could really go deep. This proved that, and to me, I think this is great for his listeners because there's going to be somebody out there that's influenced by Yeat that's going to see the range he's building out of the turn up stuff, the introspective stuff, the vulnerability in the music, and then this era where he's really reflecting on himself and being critical and challenging the listener's ears a lot because the sound is way different than anything he's done. And now on his newer project, Lifestyle, which you can go check out my album reaction to on the channel, and I did an album review, he's kind of combining the sound his fans are comfortable with this sound, putting it together, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got that project. So I was not expecting him to bring him up. I thought he was going to bring up Playboi Carti. But what I would say, like, I do feel like Playboi Carti cares about his music, but like, I don't feel like he's doing anything groundbreaking, if that makes sense. Like, I think he loves music. But, and that's good, because some of these artists, I don't think they love music. They literally look at it as a side gig. Like Cardi B, I think she likes music, but she made it very clear that she only wants to be a rapper to build her brand and to just make money. And some of these artists, like, they all want to make money, but it's a difference, right? Travis Scott, I'm not the biggest fan, but I can tell he loves music and I can tell he cares about his craft. So much so that he'll steal other artists' music, but I digress.
Especially Yeat's album because it fell completely on deaf ears. I mean, when his fans were like shitting on him for that,
I was not one of them.
Because it sounds like this nigga Yeet done made a 22-song album and half of them bitches were throwaways. And before y'all niggas get in my comments talking about how I'm a TikTok fan and a TikTok listener, guess what, buddy? You can keep that shit because I am.
You seriously
He said,
just
I
said
am.
you wanted TikTok music? That's a problem.
He said, I am.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Because you can really hear it in this album. Like, he put everything into this. He had fun making this project. He did it.
He was doing
because
something
he
different.
thought it was dope. He didn't calculate it on a whiteboard. Okay.
He literally went against the grain of what his fans wanted. A lot of artists are not willing to do that, gang. And for him to be the type of artist he is, that came up on SoundCloud, like TikTok, like those artists do not do challenging things. They usually don't. That's like thinking Lil Pump is gonna make a conceptual project. Like nobody's expecting that. But the fact that someone like him did that, yeah, there's a little more substance to him than people want to give credit to.
Maximize market exposure. How do we maximize revenue? Utilize social media trends to maximize exposure.
Less people being strategic with their output and more people being intuitive and passionate about their output. That's what I want to see more of. We've seen hip-hop become unrecognizable. Now it's time for those who care to take it back.
Damn, Dupley, you kind of did your thing. And then the Yeet mentioned, wait, how am I not subbed to him on this channel? Y'all go check out Dupley's channel. My guy Dupley did it again. This is why I told y'all I mess with Dupley. Like, he makes great videos. And I think he has some, like, really good thoughts. And I'm telling y'all, he's one of the few white people that comment on hip hop that I will actually like listen to, because he doesn't do too much. Like some of the other ones like Trapler Ross, I'm sorry, I just have no respect. I have zero respect. In fact, I actually hate Trapler Ross because his whole career is literally trap lore. He turned people's real lives into lore and content and talking about street beefs and this and that. And it's like, when academics does it, it's already bad. But Trapler Ross, it's just so disgusting. It's kind of like when Vlad does his thing where he asks federal questions to these artist interviews. So those are the two white hip hop commentators I just have no respect for. But Dupley though, he's good and he makes good videos. He has some interesting thoughts and stuff like that. So shout out to him. This was a good video. If you made it to the end, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. Drop a follow to the Twitch to come to the stream. We could talk about music or whatever else you guys want to bring up. Just let me know you're from YouTube. The link's pinned in the comments in the description, along with my link tree with all my socials, Discord, etc., etc. But until next time, you guys, we're outie.